So, I've been doing the YouTube thing for about a year, and I don't think it comes to anybody as a surprise that I want to do this full-time someday. And I think that's sort of the aspiration of all active YouTubers at this point. It's a hard career transition to make because I don't have a whole lot of extra time to do market research or editing, script writing, or editing, or learning how to edit. And I certainly don't have any extra money to put into things like adequate lighting or soundproofing for this goddamn echo. Hell, I had to pay my Blue Yeti mic off in installments. It's not easy. I don't know a whole lot of creators who don't want to be full-time, like I said. And, you know, the days of the stupid slice of life vlogging on YouTube are pretty much dead and gone. Anyway, and trying to find my place in a professional YouTuber's market is a process that has jaded me pretty significantly. It's this weird voodoo that you have to play, trying to appeal to and appease the algorithm, or failing that, the viewership, if you must. Now, YouTube's always been a little bit opaque about how it works. As an example, the first information I was able to find on monetizing my channel was when, about a year ago, the requirements went way up. And most recently, there's been another change perhaps you've heard about. Early last month, YouTube announced that starting on Monday, YouTube would be able to, at its sole discretion, terminate users' access to their accounts if they and they alone determined that your content was not commercially viable. So, in an effort to try to prevent smaller channels like mine from getting zapped by YouTube basically for wasting their time, I went out and did some research, and I determined 10 very good ways to make your YouTube experience extremely commercially viable. Let's take a look. Fuck me, I had no idea why this is as popular as it is, but most of the lore-based or fandom-based material that I've seen out there tends to be in this top 5 reasons why blank. If you put your video in listicle format, it makes it a little easier to watch. Similar to number 10, you want your audience to think of your videos as God-tier information or entertainment. The best quesadilla recipe ever! Or the 5 reasons why The Mandalorian is the worst, with a screen cap of Baby Yoda. Because if you can't make people happy, making them angry will work just as well. We'll come back to that. Research shows that the ideal length for a YouTube video is between 8 and 10 minutes, and I believe that there was a time where that was true. What I've noticed in my limited experience is that longer videos get more view time, and view time is a metric towards monetization. If you're looking for a way to get people to click on a video that's 20 minutes long without having them be gobsmacked by the ennui of clicking on a video that has a 20-minute timestamp, I would suggest that I would refer you back to tip number 10 and break it up into sections. More academically inclined channels like PhilosophyTube and ContraPoint do this without having said that they do it. But for content that's for a less educationally inclined crowd, people who are looking for less edu and more attainment, then I would put it in the title that you have done this. Oh, don't be gay on YouTube. Not if you want advertisers anyway. There are a few advertisers that are comfortable working with LGBTQ creators. CuriosityStream and Audible jump immediately to mind. A lot of my favorite LGBTQ creators are sponsored by those two, and they're great. However, one of the quickest ways to get your channel marked or your videos marked not suitable for most advertisers is to say out loud in a video, "I'm trans." Well, this looks like something that is actually a little flip-floppy, and it would be if you consider intelligence to be binary. Like if you're not smart, you're dumb, and if you're not dumb, you're smart. You can be mediocre. Apropos of absolutely nothing, I want to take a moment to plug IKEA, from whom I got this wonderful couch. The delivery and customer service experience was... Anyway, the ideal is to do both at the same time. This is a move that was mastered by alt-right shitwizard Ben Shapiro, EDL Wunderkind and Brexit Party also ran Sargon of Akkad, Canadian Nazi Lauren Southern, and software salesman and racism gold medalist Stefan Molyneux, and anyone who has identified themselves as a gamer and then criticized the work of Anita Sarkeesian. So this is a thing that the Fash have been doing kind of more often, is appropriating the aesthetics of intellectualism. Now, don't get me wrong, they are very dumb. They are very dumb, but they say smart things very quickly, and people who are less intelligent than them go, "Listen to smart man." Now, I'll admit I've come up a bit short on this one recently. I have a hard time being funny when I'm depressed, and what's not to be depressed about? But it does help if you at least have a reputation for being funny in your videos. I mean, look at SNL. They haven't been funny since 1990, but that doesn't, they don't have to do anything to get a truly envious number of views. Again, look around. If you're not angry, you're not paying attention. If you're not fighting back the urge to be angry, you're not paying attention. There is a constant stream, a fountain of shit just being sprayed in our face like some asshole neighbor kid with a super soaker. Be angry. Let that shit out. People will mistake it for authenticity. And if you can't do authenticity, fuck it. Rage will do. So there's actually an interesting psychological thing going on here. People crave authenticity. We don't walk around visibly angry. It's off-putting. So most people keep their anger inside. So if you perform rage to a camera and other people watch that, then it looks to them like an expression of something that you keep inside, to wit, authenticity. Other ways that people have manufactured authenticity are breaking, which is cute if you do it exactly once, and other creators have had long, in-depth, complicated relationships with characters ostensibly off-screen and never seen, for the purposes of expressing an emotional relationship on screen. Lindsay Ellis talks a little bit about these topics in her video on manufacturing authenticity. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, and it'll be in the description. So, content creation. Art, business. Because we live in the capitalist hellscape that we do, the idea of non-commercial art, or art that is not to some extent commercialized, is increasingly ridiculous. Look, this apartment costs money. Food costs money. The base level of entertainment required to keep me from going insane costs money. And so if I don't have a job, if I don't produce something for the capitalist nightmare in which we all must exist, this whole starving artist thing is going to get really, really real, and it's going to get really, really intense once the winter comes and we reach "you will not survive this" temperatures. So there is an incentive for artists to have a day job and to have their art as a hobby, which will invariably affect the quality of the art or the frequency with which the art is produced. Or they can sacrifice their authenticity for the sake of commercial viability so that they can be an artist full time. Part of being ruthlessly capitalistic is knowing your analytics and adjusting your approach to maximize your viewership. If you're a woman on YouTube, which, okay, if you're sure, then that may mean utilizing your entire every inch of you to gain market appeal. Now, okay, guys, I know what I look like. I know how other people see me. In part because my modeling manager just recently told me I need to work on myself, and in part because I can read your mind. Speaking of telepathy, today's episode is brought to you by La Croix. La Croix. It tastes like somebody thinking really, really hard about cerise limon in the next room. But I also know because some of these men leave helpful comments. By the way, guys, if you enter search terms into YouTube and then you click on my video, I can see the search terms, which is how I know that approximately 12% of my viewership on any specific video comes from people YouTube searching for the saddest things in the history of the world, either lesbian sex or Indian sex. I spoke about the golden age of India in one of my videos like 9 months ago. Being a creator on YouTube is like playing Monopoly, copyright Milton Bradley, with the Azathoth of corporate capitalism, Google, who owns YouTube, all of your content, and your immortal soul. The rules are always changing, and YouTube gleefully acknowledges this in their terms of service. And if you think they're changing in your favor, you're clearly unfamiliar with your position in this game. You're a pawn. You're a cog in a machine, and machines do not work for the benefit of the cog. But you think you can't be automated out of this game? Now, this is a practice that is very quietly discouraged by YouTube, but there are several bot accounts, mostly hailing from Eastern Europe, that basically string together children's content in such a way that it flies just below the content moderator's radar. And these don't have to be wildly popular in order to be successful. And they can upload at a rate far in excess of what a careful, considered creator can manage. And they're designed to be autoplayed so they can rack up hours of view time very, very quickly. You can be automated out of existence in favor of a more commercially viable relationship with an Eastern European scam bot that may or may not be sneaking into their hours-long streams that exhausted parents plop difficult children in front of so they can get some housework done, because, and I feel like this doesn't get said enough, stay-at-home parenthood is a six-figure job that people get hoodwinked into doing for free. Here it is. This is the ultimate hack. This is the one. This is how you maintain your viability in this very grim landscape that I painted for you today. Are you ready? This is going to change your life. We have to unionize. We have to take collective action, because bargaining is not Google at sex bag baby, against degrading conditions that restrict the full range of artistic expression. Praise the algorithm, all hail the green, red, and yellow goat in the woods with 1,000 young, the one and all, the all-in-one, the blind idiot god of all content, algorithm, San Bruno, California, So congratulations, if you've made it to the end of this has just been a really long and intense way of saying that on December the 10th, there is going to be a creator walkout of YouTube. We're asking that creators not post anything on December the 10th, and we're asking that our viewers not watch anything on YouTube on December the 10th in protest of this commercial viability thing. Now, I know it's hard, and I know it sucks, but we are strong because of the company we keep. Individually, yeah, it doesn't make much of a difference. But when 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 people don't watch and don't upload to YouTube, somebody's going to notice. So everybody's going to be back on the 11th, and everything will continue on from there. But help us show YouTube that it needs us more than we need them. Anyway, this has been Lunch, Laws, and Luigi's. I've been Jokes and Stuff. Bye!